Hello guys. So in this session we are going to discuss about the first week of development. Okay. So what compromises or we can say what does the first week of development includes? So the first week of development includes basically fertilization as well as implantation, right? So first of all, we'll be discussing about what fertilization is. Then we'll be talking about the implantation. Okay, so let's get started. In the first week of development, fertilization takes place in ampulla of the fallopian tube, which is already asked in 2022 NEET examination. So let's talk about some structures we encountered in case of the fertilization discussion. Okay, so zona pellucida is a membrane which prevents the implantation and polyspermy. So whenever we'll be discussing about the implantation, no doubt zona pellucida is preventing the implantation. That's why during the implantation the zona pellucida should be resolved or it should be dissociated, right? So we'll be discussing about later on in the implantation. Okay, now let's discuss about the cascades, like implication or way or the pathway of the fertilization or the sequence of fertilization. Okay, so first of all, what happens? The sperm binds to the zona pellucida. Okay, so zona pellucida is bounded by the sperm. So what happens when the sperm binds to the zona pellucida? It triggers the release of the acrosomal enzymes of the sperm called acrosomal reaction. Okay, acrosomal reaction. Okay, guys. So in the case of acrosomal reaction, the acrosomal enzymes includes acrosin, acid phosphatase, and hyaluronidase. Okay, guys. So these enzymes are going to help penetrate the sperm to the zona pellucida. That's why the sperm now penetrates. So with the help of these enzymes, acrosomal enzymes, the sperm penetrates the zona pellucida. Okay. So after that, what happens? As soon as the sperm penetrates the zona pellucida, the cortical granules are released or get released. Its secretions. Okay, the cortical granules releases secretions. Okay, that is known as cortical reaction. So the main point we have to recall is acrosomal. First of all, the acrosomal reaction is happening, then then cortical reaction, then zonal reactions, all are occurring in a sequence. Okay, so the cortical enzymes reaches the zona. Okay, actually the cortical enzymes are releasing from the cytoplasm of the egg or the female gamete. Okay, so these enzymes reaches the zona, then zona changes its permeability of sperms called zona reactions. It means that because of the cortical enzyme, zona is going to change its permeability in order to prevent the further sperm to enter or prevent the polyspermy, which we have already discussed in the function of zona pellucida, which is a membrane to prevent the implantation and polyspermy. Okay, guys. Okay, so what happens now? The sperm, the first sperm which has already been penetrated the zona pellucida is going to fuse. Okay, that's why it is written here, fusion of male and female pronucleus. Okay, so that forms the zygote. Then it undergoes the first cleavage to form the two cell stage, and further cleavages. Okay, first cleavage, second cleavage, and third cleavage. So up to 8 cell stage, the cells are arranged loosely. Okay, further after that, 8 cell stage. After the 8 cell stage, the cells held together by a tight junctions called compaction. Okay, so this is how the fertilization cascade takes place. Now let's talk about this fertilization in diagrammatic way. Okay, guys. So far we have discussed the sequence. Right now we are going to discuss the same thing but in a diagrammatic way. Okay, so here let's talk about the structure of the structure of the ovum. Okay, so ovum or the male ova is ovum is actually covered by the zona pellucida, you can see here. Okay, And after zona pellucida, in between the zona pellucida and the egg plasma membrane or female gamete, there is a space called perivitelline space. You can see here perivitelline space, then egg plasma membrane. So let's talk about the fertilization cases. So when the sperm comes close to this zona pellucida, it causes the attachment, or it is attached to the zona pellucida and binds, okay, in a B binds, and C for acrosomal reaction. And because of binding to the zona pellucida, acrosomal enzymes will be released, and we have already discussed about the acrosomal reactions enzymes. Okay, so what was that? So the enzyme was acrosine, okay, acid phosphatase and hyaluronidase. Then what happens? Because of those enzymes after acrosomal reaction, the sperm become able to penetrate the zona pellucida. So these sperms are going to penetrate the zona pellucida because of its enzymes. Now penetration is happening here. You can see very nicely, right? Penetration is happening. Then what happens after this penetration? This sperm or the first sperm is going to fuse with the egg plasma membrane. As soon as the egg plasma membrane is fused with the sperm, first sperm, the cortical enzymes will start degranulating, or we can say releasing its content into the zona pellucida. And when the cortical enzymes or the granules reaches the zona pellucida, then what happens? The permeability of the zona pellucida will change. As a result, the further sperm cannot penetrate this very zona pellucida and prevents the polyspermy. Okay guys, okay, so this is what we are really concerned to know about the first week of development in first content, that is fertilization. Later on we'll be discussing about the implantation.